shit like that. I mean, I'm pretty random, but
he gets way out there.
He gets way out there. And everything that he does is exactly like his martial arts. It's very well practiced, and he learns stuff all the time. He reads stuff all the time. I don't understand. I don't know where his off switch is.
Well, you look at your phone and your tablets and your laptops and all that. I mean, you have the biggest resource you could ever pray for is in your hand. You have it at your disposal. You can learn anything you want. Like it's great. We say all the time, anything you want to learn, YouTube it. I guarantee you, there's a video about it. Anything you want to learn. You want to learn how to rebuild a motor? You can learn it on YouTube. You want to learn about a crazy gorilla tribe in the mountains of Zimbabwe? You can learn it on YouTube.
Well, one of my guys that works for me. Just recently, he had to go up to a junior college, not Guadalajara. No, to collect money out of the washing machines there that we own. We provide the washing machines, they provide the water and electricity. Boom, they have laundry. Then we split the revenue. Well, a lot of these kids have figured out through YouTube how you can start a coin slide washing machine with coffee straws. Sometimes. If it doesn't jam. And when it jams, it jams. And they have I think 16 washers, and 4 of them were operational when he got there.
The rest of them had coffee straws in them.
They were all jammed up with coffee straws.
That's hilarious.
So those kids there need a lot more practice with the coffee straws for sure.
You learned it on YouTube, though. I mean, anything you want to know, man.
I'll bet Joe Rogan could do it.
Oh, yeah, he could. Yeah, he could tell you the best kind of brand of coffee straw to buy to do it, too.
How many signatures does he have now? I'm going to have to go visit change.org. Everybody, if you want to know what's going on with this, go see change.org.
At some point, I want to say the figure, when Donnie first told me about this, he mentioned the figure like 200,000, 250,000. I don't know, a bunch of them, I think.
Right.
Speaking of Donnie is not with us tonight.
No, I'm in Studio X in the middle of nowhere. Shiner's in our new studio. And Donnie for destroying the podcast. Yes, Donnie, it's your fault. I know you're going to be listening to the podcast, and we totally blame it on you. I know it was an accident, and, it'll be okay, honestly, but you're in timeout. Sit down and shut up.
Even accidents have consequences.
Yes, accidents do have consequences. I tell
you, we're actually having to pull facts for ourselves tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to do a real quick say hey to Party Foul Johnny on the old page.
Yeah.
We are recording the podcast, and I just want you to know that it'll be there tomorrow, buddy.
Because Donnie's not involved.
Nope.
Speaking of Simo, man, shout out to that dude and his Simo recently joined the podcast as a co-host.
He did,
and they've had the last 2 episodes. This podcast, man, shout out to these dudes because they're killing it right now. It's called Todd Orendorff on the Toddcast, and I know they're on Apple Podcasts because that's where I grab their episodes.
Yeah,
but you guys that listen to this show, man, you know our buddy Party Foul Johnny, and Johnny's now the new co-host for Todd over there. Those guys, man, give them a listen. They are absolutely, the last 2 episodes have been absolutely hilarious.
In one of those episodes, and you guys just got to go listen to their podcast to hear it, Johnny talks about this little cat that he come across, and he gets out of his truck, and little kitty's missing home. And Johnny's got a few cats at home, so he's a cat lover. And this cat walks up.
He thought the cat was dead.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He thought it was
he
dead.
Thought the cat was dead.
So, he hits him in the fields. Another cat's dead, all that mess. He walks up on it, and all of a sudden this cat starts coming up his leg. And
like he baited Johnny out there.
Johnny, he was wearing sweatpants, right? If I remember right.
He had work pants. Work pants. He went to work after this.
Okay, so everybody who's probably 35 and under, you're not going to get this, but anybody who's 35 and over, back in the day when we were kids, there used to be this toy, and I can't remember the name of it, but you would slip this hoop on your ankle, and then this hoop is attached to about 4 or 5 foot, maybe 6 foot long piece, and at least mine was attached. It looked like a lemon that had a bunch of like beans inside, made a shaking noise. And so you would run your leg around, kind of run your leg in a circle, and jump this thing with your other leg. And why we thought that was cool, I have no idea. They even had TV commercials about it. And looking back on it, that was the stupidest damn toy ever. But
everybody had one.
Everybody had one. And so Johnny starts trying to shake this cat off of his leg. So he starts doing his leg in a circular motion. And every time his leg comes around, he's having to jump the cat. Anyways, he gets clawed up pretty good. And I'm not going to tell you any more of the story because you have to go to the Toddcast with Todd Orndorff and Party Foul Johnny. It is you will, but if you don't laugh, you're not human. I swear to God.
No, you guys got to realize too. Like this was the event that was the catalyst to the friendship that got created between Titty and Johnny.
Yeah,
like I knew Johnny for a year or so before this through the hunting community, and I'd comment, I'd bring up his name every now and then about something he said, or like, Johnny likes to cook a lot of good food too. Mm-hmm. Well, then the day that this happened, the first video I get from Johnny in the morning on Marco Polo is him with his work pants around his ankles, and his legs are all scratched up, all inflamed. I mean, and the day proceeds. So as he tells this story, every time something big happens along his storyline, he's sending me Marcos about it. And I can't even believe this is real the whole time I'm watching it. So I see Titty a few days later and said, "Man, you got to watch this." So I let you watch the progression of videos, and you were like, "I got to contact this dude. This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen."
Well, then to hear it again on the podcast, literally, I'm listening because I listen to podcasts going down the road. I drive a lot. I have a lot of drive time, and unfortunately, fortunately now I don't do it anymore. But I used to be on my phone a lot while I was driving, and I got pretty good at it. But we had a death in our company that we think possibly could be related to playing with your phone in your car. And so I quit that. So anything I got to do on that phone, I'll just wait till I get to my next stop. But I can listen to podcasts. So I've been listening to their podcast, and I listened to that, and I'd eaten lunch. It's probably 2:00 in the afternoon. Bladder is pretty full, and I hear that story, and I'm literally about to shit my pants. I had so much hydraulic pressure going on. I had to stop the podcast, just calm down, cool down, pulled into a Love's, went in there, did my business, got back out and finished the podcast because there's no way I could have finished that podcast.
Dude, that is one of the funniest stories of all time, man. And just it brings back the memory. I'd forgot until I heard it on the podcast again. I had forgotten about that day of Marco's, and oh my God, it was just crazy.
There's certain stories that are just funny. Like me falling asleep on the pot at a Quick Trip.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah,
Johnny having this cat thing go on. Certain things you got to bring back up every once in a while and make it fresh.
Oh, batteries, Brian. That was a good one.
Oh my God, that's actually. Gosh, I want to say it was probably from back in February or March.
It's ways back.
If you guys want to hear that episode, it's really, really funny. It's another one that Shiner went to Walmart. That's all I got to say. But that's the actual title of the podcast: Batteries, Brian.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to that one, that's a pretty damn funny one too. It even has an old school Game Boy in there. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, one of the first Game Boys, man.
For sure.
It's crazy.
Who else you got a shout out to?
Man, the guys from East Coast Bow Hunting, they ran across us, and they've been giving us a listen, trying to listen to some of the shenanigans. And those guys are, if you like anything to do with conservation or the hunting community, and you don't listen to East Coast Bow Hunting, something's wrong with you, man, because those guys kill it all the time. They put on some shooting events, get a bunch of guys together, have tournament shoots, and man, they just do a lot of really cool things. So yeah, man, that's kind of my new go-to when I need to get something in my ears as the workday flows along. Man, I've been trying to catch up with those guys and their episodes.
Well, and for anybody out there listening to our podcast who are hunters, especially bow hunters, bow hunting is not that far away. Bow season is not that far away.
October 1 in Oklahoma. We're going to open up October 1st.
So,
well, in fact, we just went out to the new deer lease a couple weeks ago, which it was very promising.
Yeah, it was.
But we
possibly even profitable too.
Depending on how you look at it, it could be very profitable. But yeah, we went out there, and first time I've ever been out hunting, and ran across marijuana just randomly growing someplace. So
just indigenous marijuana.
Man, there's a lot of the couple of guys I was with, which were my dad and my brother. There was a lot of debate about that. Like, I don't know if it was indigenous because it's awful peculiar that it stops exactly at a fence line, which if you go over that fence line, there's a big wheat field there. But I mean, it looks a little too exact to be indigenous, I think. I mean, but I don't know.
Deer love to munch on.
Deer love marijuana.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there was everywhere we were, there were some of these plants that were even flower, but I mean, you find this patch of it, and then like 3-4 feet from it, you'd find 3 or 4 deer beds.
Right.
And my brother's like, man, they're coming in here munching, taking a healthy nap before they would get out of here. So I don't know. I mean, that's definitely a piece of the property that we're calling the marijuana patch. But I mean, it's all kinds of deer sign around it. We hung a trail cam up right there to see what kind of action we got going through there.
Well, I know that if they eat the flower, which has the seeds, that can go through their digestive system, come back out, and still replicate itself on the ground, and actually it's self-fertilizing then.
Right.
But,
yeah. So it's like an ingenious cycle we got going on there.
But if they stopped at that fence and not went into that field, that clearing with wheat, just because there's, they don't want to get shot. That's killing ground, right?
They don't want to be out in the open too long.
Well, if they take a lot of poops along that fence line, that could explain.
Maybe that's doing it. But I mean, dude, it was funny because my dad was so in tune on this mineral block that he had placed out there before the trip before, and my brother and I, this is the first time we actually set foot on the lease. But I'm paying attention to my brother, and he says, he gets this real peculiar look on his face, and he's like, "Is that marijuana?" And as he says it, I'm looking over to see what he's looking at. I'm like, holy shit, it is. But yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you guys will see some pictures of the plants that were just magically on this piece of property that we leased to deer hunt this year. So that ought to be interesting. I mean,
well, years ago, your brother was a police officer, a sheriff's officer, I think. Right?
Yeah, he was a sheriff's deputy.
And your dad was a police officer. And so I remember you telling me a story about them seizing plants, cutting down some marijuana plants.
Oh yeah, that's my brother. A dude actually, I can't remember if he bought the property or I can't remember what happened, but he ended up calling the sheriff's office because maybe it was just indigenous. Maybe he just ran across it and called him. So they went out there and harvested these plants, cut these plants down, threw them in the back of a pickup, trying to help the guy out. Drove it off the property. Well, while they drove it off the property, every time they hit a little bit of vibration coming out of that field, it'd shake seeds off of it. So my brother said next year he didn't have that little patch of marijuana there, but he did have a healthy trail of it where that truck drove out of his property. He had a nice trail about as wide as a Chevy pickup.
6.5 foot wide?
It's hilarious. I'm trying to help the guy out and just give him a bigger problem to deal with.
Oh, talk about a yellow brick road.
Right, exactly. That'd be a good name for that strain.
Perfect.
Name it Yellow Brick.
Yeah.
I think there is a Yellow Brick Road strain. There probably is.
There's so many strains out there now.
Oh, man, this is getting crazy, man. Well, I mean, you look on, weed maps or, LeafFly. You go on LeafFly, and you can type in any name you hear, and it'll give you all the information at your fingertips about it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I do dig sites like that because, if you got to be educated now.
Man,
if you're going to partake, especially, well, in Oklahoma it's medicinal right now, but if you're going to